Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about Cultivate What Matters power sheets. Now I will preface this video by saying these are the 2020 power sheets undated. I actually got these on sale around August where I was feeling so bummed out and like not very oriented or structured in like my creative mind. So I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and grab the power sheets to see if they can center me, give me inspiration, and see if I can set up goals that I've been lacking to put into plan. So that is why I grabbed them. They were on sale because the original power sheets for 2020 were all sold out and only the undated were left. And at the beginning, I didn't want to actually buy these because these were pretty expensive for just 6 months undated. I think they cost more than the original power sheets, and I was like, what? Why would I want to do that? But when they went on sale, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and grab them, test it out, because I don't want a whole year's worth of it in case they didn't work out. So I was like, okay, let's get into it. When I bought these, the only thing I had set in mind is expanding or putting into plans or goals my creativity, whether it's for my sticker shop or YouTube or my social platforms. This had nothing to do with personal goals or anything like that. So if you're interested in that kind of aspect, you won't find it in my video because this was not personal goal advancement type of usement. This was just basically what I needed so I can find inspiration and for me to keep going as a content creator, as just a sticker creator, and so forth. So if you're interested in that, then go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and comment, and let's get right into this planner because I want to go ahead and talk about everything. So the first thing I want to go ahead and get into is the setup of it. I actually just put in some Erin Condren stickers that I do not use. I just wanted to keep in there just in case I need to color code anything, and I just stuck it in there with a coil clip. But this was the first notebook ever that made me do prep work. And I know a lot of people would talk about prep work. It goes really fast for some, it goes very slow for others. And from my experience, it took me a couple of days to get this planner set up. Now, I do want to apologize if you guys hear any neighborhood noise. You know, we got dogs, we got helicopters, we got cars, you name it. So I'm sorry if you do hear that ahead of time. So of course, this is about planning your best year. So you do have, the prep work, the action plans, and then the tending pages. And we'll get into that pretty soon. So of course it starts with today is the day that everything changes and you put your name and the start date. I unfortunately didn't see this. I don't know what happened, but I didn't see this or I didn't care for this page, so I didn't actually write the day I started it, because when I bought this and I had it, I didn't actually start it right away. I actually started this in October or November, I believe, and I bought these in August. So these were laying around for a good minute before I actually even wanted to even start, because there was so much going on with me personally and medically that I was like, you know what? I don't think I want power sheets in my life right now. So I did leave these hanging around in its box for a while. But it does come with stickers, which I believe in the planner tells you when to use them or how to use them. And clearly I only use like 4 or 5 stickers so far. I'm not very much into stickering up goal planners just because I don't know how to really use the planner in itself fully yet. And this was just like my thoughts and opinions after using it for a couple of months. Now, the 2020 goals ideas, which I'm thinking of bringing into 2021, is my sticker shop, my social platforms, and my happiness with work. So those are the goals that I was really aiming for 2020 and bringing them into 2021. Like I said, I was in a rut, like a straight up rut when I bought the power sheets. I was having zero inspiration to creating stickers. I was having zero motivation to keep continuing with YouTube or any content creation, and I was having zero inspiration to even posting or being on Instagram. So that it was the reason behind this purchase overall. So here it talks about, what is something unique about yourself and what really defines you. And mine is that I'm very impatient. I'm self-doubting, and the way I need to be encouraged is by having affirming words and being recognized for my work. I don't know why, but that's such a big thing for me. And the thing that I've always want to be known is for the stuff that I create. I want to be known that I create beauty in this world by the items I create and by the content I share. And then it goes on to say, you know, what is it that you value? And a lot of it has to be with efficiency, confidence, and ambition and creativity. Creativity has been like the most thing I've been targeting, like the thing I've been wanting to accomplish. And this so far has helped me get there. And then it goes on to say, what are the best memories involving? And of course, it's always experiencing something new, accomplishing goals that I've set, and doing the stuff that I love. So that is just what this is all about. It's just finding who you are as a person. And I was able to clearly define myself in the true aspect. Because something that you got to understand with power sheets is that if you're not true about yourself, these will lead you nowhere. You can't fake it. You just can't, because the work and the prep work would see right through you. So this is something that you really have to think about. And I will preface by saying this took me 2 days to finish just the prep work, to be honest. And then of course it goes on to like what fires you up. And a lot of that came up was creativity, working, and developing. So as you guys can see, the prep work makes you do stuff, and a lot of the highlight is the stuff that really stuck out to me. Now this is something that had me kind of like reevaluate my entire life. Now something that I read up here was that if some of these things did not actually fit in your plan of evaluation, you could scratch them off and write something in. And like I said, a lot of this had to do with my shop growth, my personal growth with my business and my creativity. So I did scratch off friends, I scratched off spiritual, I scratched off family, I scratched off, you know, significant other, and I added my own as my shop, my personal growth, and my platforms, my social media platforms, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, and I evaluated that self. Now, there are some stuff that I kept that were personal, which was my health. And then I just literally rated myself and prioritized them. However, while progressing through this, I did go ahead and realize that some of the priorities that I marked were not priorities at all during this time I'm in. So for the first one, I rated myself in health a 2. 1, because I am currently overweight. I have a very sedentary life because I've been in isolation or just home, working from home all the time. And I've been very sluggish and eating very unhealthy. So my health has kind of not been the greatest, especially this year where most of my activity has been diminished to 0 because I have not been actually working. I've just been staying home. So I did make that a priority, but however, I only started this goal in December. So my priority for beginning my power sheets was not so much in my health, but so much my shop. So for my shop, I actually rated myself a 5 because I felt like it had become stagnant. I felt like I couldn't market it, and I felt like I didn't have variety in it. It had become so stressful, especially with, you know, creating content for it, or just working with the machinery like the silhouettes and my printer and my Mac. It had just become so stressful that I was not actually enjoying having a sticker shop. So like I said, main priority why I wanted the power sheets in the first place. My finances, I rated them a 7. I felt like the only thing that I was not able to fix in this area is that I couldn't actually just live off of my shop just because of my expenses, rent, LA being so expensive, and then it was so variable as well. So I had to find a plan for that as well. Now for personal growth, I marked that at a 4 just because I was not happy how far I've come being, you know, a 27-year-old. I felt like I'm being very unsuccessful in my career. I've been feeling very helpless, and I've been scared at trying new things, and my confidence hasn't been the highest it could be. So I did rate myself a 4 in that scenario. Then we go here where I mark some of this stuff off, which was, instead of significant other, I put YouTube. My YouTube, I did go ahead and rate myself a 5 because I was feeling so burnt out, you guys. If you guys follow my budgeting channel, you guys would have seen that for a couple of months I didn't post anything, one because of surgery, and then the other couple of other months they were so variable because I was in between deciding of continuing on with YouTube or just leaving it all behind. So there was not very much thought process or very creative, input from me. It was just like, let me just have something up just to have something up. So I didn't really have anything significant to rate myself for YouTube because I wasn't there. I wasn't passionate about it. I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again. I didn't have a schedule, and it was no good. It was no good. For Instagram, I also rated myself very low. I felt like I wasn't gaining any traction on there. I felt like my posts were very stale or not very, like, something that would make me happy, that would reflect myself in it. So I was like, I'm not happy with my Instagram. I'm not happy with the feed. I'm not happy with anything that I put out. So I was like, I really need to work on that too. And then, of course, here are some of the other items that I kept. So work, that was one of the lowest I've ever scored. For a very long time, I've had this hate towards the field I'm in, or the company I'm in, or just the position I'm in, just because of everything that my body has gone through medically due to injuries, and how I felt stagnant in my career. Like, I felt like it was a dead end. So that was like very lowly rated. However, you guys can see I didn't even prioritize it because I was on workers' comp and still am. So I was like, I can't really fix that. So let me not even try to fix it. Like, I'm just gonna put this as the back burner. And then on recreation, I should have just X'd this because I was like, it's a 6. I mean, there's COVID, so there's not much that you can really rate it besides, it's better to be at home than being out in the world and getting contaminated. But it's also very like annoying to just be at home at all times if you're used to being out and about all the time. So this was the evaluation I did for my life, and I literally prioritized my shop, my Instagram, and my health, when in reality right now I'm prioritizing my shop, my YouTube, and not even Instagram, more of my finances. So even though this prep work made me prioritize some of the items, they actually didn't end up being priorities at all. And then here it was your identity box. Like, what do you feel like you cannot do? A lot of the time I felt like I couldn't draw, I couldn't talk about planners. I didn't feel like I was good enough to be the person to be in this section of planning. And then I went ahead to talk about like, what is it that I was really looking forward to, like from now and from last years of my life. So this is one of the things I found very troubling, is that, reflect yourself 10 years ago. Well, 10 years ago I was a teenager. So, I'm very ambitious, I'm very lively, I'm very young and optimistic. However, when I look at myself now, I'm like, I'm a grown adult, which I'm very pessimistic about stuff. I kind of just don't like being very, I wouldn't know what the word is, but I wouldn't want to do stuff that would compromise my stability, my financial situation, you get me? So it's, this page was kind of troubling because I'm like, I can't reflect on what my teenage years was because I've grown so much from there. But anywho, I really did enjoy the I'm moving past fear, because here I kind of was like, I fear, scrutiny, I feel backlash, I feel failures, but I do enjoy the security and stability that I have. And the thing I'm lacking is ambition, basically. So that is what I had there. And then here it was, a a reflection of the stuff that did work out. And I broke that into the categories that I was trying to fix. So for my YouTube, my budgeting channel, I was like, okay, what did work this year? And I would break that down. And then I'm like, okay, on Instagram, what did get the most likes? And for my planning Instagram, what did work? And for my shop, what did work? And I did break that down. And then here, I've said, okay, what didn't work? So this was really a big reflection of the stuff that was very successful in those areas and what was not so successful. And here it's just like, okay, what can you learn? What is, what are you thankful for? So it was just like a lot of reflecting back and forth, back and forth. And then here it was like, okay, what's the big picture? And the thing about what's the big picture is that it talks about what matters when you're 80. And when I'm in a situation right now where I'm like, I don't care what 80 looks like. I care what like 2, 3, 5 years looks like. This kind of like just kind of puts a drag to what you're really aiming your goals to be. Because like when I'm 80, I care to have my own house. I care to be financially stable. I care to have a family, a property. And I'm like, so what wouldn't matter then is everything that I want to set goals in right now, like my stickers, my social media, my business, my content. So this was not the most helpful scenario in the big picture situation. I'm not sure if it has changed now with the 2021 power sheets, but this is something that was just like, it doesn't really work out if you're very like business oriented or creative oriented, because it would tell you to reflect on areas of your life that are teenage years for me, or stuff that where you're super old, and nothing like this would matter if you're already in those stages. So yeah, I really kind of went back and forth with the power sheets because they were frustrating to fill out, because it's like, okay, you're putting me in different timelines that doesn't really work for me. Like you get me? But anywho, it led to break down like, hey, what would you want your legacy to be? First of all, financial stability. That is it. To be able to be my own person and to be worth growing and getting to that scenario. So that was it. And then here, it just asks you a bunch of questions and answer them. So it was a lot of like questions and put it out, questions and reply. And right here, it's like, okay, based on everything that you wrote out, what is it that you really looked into your power sheets and saw? And a lot of it was creativity outlet. I felt like I was not being creative, and I was really searching for financial stability and self-value. So all that prep work got me these threads. And trust me, it was hard to get there. And then here it tells you, okay, now that you have those threads, break them down of how you can say no to what's not been working, saying yes to what's been working. And a lot of it has to deal with like my behavior. Like, am I procrastinating? Let's not do that. Let's be productive. If I'm worrying about something, then stop it, just do it. That kind of like go-getter situation. So that's what that page made me realize. And then here, it did help me get a word. I was writing a lot of like, choose words or lists that make you resonate with something. A lot of it was confidence. A lot of it was self-efficiency, creativity. But at the end, I had to have faith in myself to accomplish all of that. And that's why I chose the word faith for 2020 and 2021. And then I wrote a little box right here of why I did that. I really did enjoy this word, and I still do. And something that I will say is that the prep work really does, like if you go back and look at it, it really just remotivates you over and over again. And something that I really enjoyed about the power sheets is this statement. It's like, imagine your best year and then put in everything that you wrote into a statement. So I'll read you mine. It says, my name is Erika. I am confident I am capable of change, and I'm deciding that I can. The areas in my life that most need to be cultivated is my health, my shop, and my social media platforms. In the past, I've been unmotivated and scared, but now I'm ready to believe and work on myself. My legacy starts today. So when I'm 80, I look back and see all of my work from here on out that made my home, my happiness, and my security possible. I will be known for having my financial stability, my wisdom, and my perseverance. I'll start living my big picture vision this year by incorporating changes, routines, and a positive and motivating outcome or lifestyle. I will do this little by little with leaps of faith along the way, and I want to make what matters happen because I am tired of my self-doubt and my stagnant lifestyle. My definition of success is making, an income with my shop and passive income from my channel that I can live off of. And while I will live by saying yes to productivity, creativity, and I'll be saying no to procrastination and self-negativity. I will surround myself with less doubt and self-loathe and fill my life with more positivity and encouragement. My worth is faith because I believe I am capable of success and finding happiness. So if that doesn't motivate you as a person, then I don't know what will, because that really does motivate me. And of course, right here, it tells you draw a vision board. I don't like vision boards because first, I don't like drawing out anything. I don't want to cut out anything. And if I write a bunch of words everywhere, it just becomes mumbo jumbo to me. So I didn't really put much effort into vision boards. So if you're a vision board person, good for you, but I'm not. So I really didn't find this page very motivating. So I just threw something together, to be honest. And you guys, I was having such a great time doing this prep work. But then when I started going into these pages, that motivation kind of started dipping. And that's because right here, you have to start redoing your goals. So I felt like this was a repetition on repetition on repetition. So I was like, okay, name your goals. So I named them and why I'm doing them. Why is it that I want to work on these goals? So for my shop is because it will gain financial stability. It'll make me happy to have a creative outcome. I won't feel so burnt out anymore. It's just so, all that stuff. And then these pages come out, the action plan. And I hated these, okay? I hated these because I'm just like, okay, I wrote my goal and then I'm writing my goal again. And then I have to write mini goals for each one and do a timeline. And it's like, why? Why do I have to do that? I hated these pages, you guys. I cannot stand these pages. Like, why am I writing? I wrote my goals here in the prep work and then I wrote my goals again. And then I got to write my goals again on top of mini goals and a timeline. Like, y'all, that was exhausting for me on these power sheets. Like, I was just like, I'm not writing that. Like, it even says you don't have to do it and you can put your progress here, but I'm like, no, I really don't want to do this. This is making me angry. So something that I found frustrating about power sheets is that it can motivate you and then it can tear you down at the same time. It really can. But then I was like, okay, let's do a quarter view. Let's do like when I can start working on my goals. And I started doing that and I was like, okay, that seems more clear, right? I was like, okay, I'm back to being motivated again. And then we get to this part and then I really sunk. So it tells you, okay, how can you make sure you achieve your goals? And it says the to-dos, what are you excited about, what's on my mind, and I'm hopeful that. I was like, okay, fine, I'll fill it out, nothing big. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do the calendar. Like, I love the calendar. And then I realized that the calendar was making me set goals just for specific goal, not all of them. So I was like, oh, this is kind of tricky. So I wasn't really having fun and there was a lot of scratch outs and stuff. So I was like, okay, that's not bad. I was like, it's fine. I'll keep working on it. I'll get the hang of it. And then the attendings list came and I flat out just did not know how to work the attending sheet. As you guys can see, I wrote stuff out, but I barely did anything because I did not know how to work the attending list. So much that I didn't even do a monthly review, you guys. So that attending list really hit me hard because I really didn't know how to go about it. I'm like, I did all this amazing prep work. I got frustrated and then I got motivated again. And then I just like, okay, I'm mad now because I don't know how to do attending lists. I only figured out how to do attending lists watching Llama Letters, Cindy Gertrude Baldo. that was the only way I figured out how to do tending lists, because I was like, that's not working out. I was like, I have no idea how I did it, so I completely ignored them. So when November came about, I was like, okay, or December, I was like, okay, I'm not doing this because this doesn't help me out. I was like, I'm gonna do the calendar, but again, the calendar did not work out for me. It just didn't. I was like, I have a whole like planner that I can do all of this. I'm not gonna be double planning. And then based on what I saw from Llama Letters, I was like, okay, the tending list is something that you have to write down on what you want to do to accomplish your goal. So the monthly action items does not build up on these small items. This is just something you want to get done that month, because it's so big that you need the whole month to come up with this. And then the weekly actions is just something you want to do once a week, that can help you with your your goals. And then the daily actions is something that keeps you in check every single time. So I had to learn that the hard way, you guys. So I'm like, the first time the tending list did not work for me. It completely destroyed me and my motivation to using PowerSheets. But in December, after watching Cindy's video, I kind of got back into it. However, I was all over the place, and I wasn't really like looking at my PowerSheets. So I did a month in a review, and something that I really didn't care for is like someone I'm grateful for and why. Okay, look, when you're basing stuff like me on a business, you're not very grateful for anyone except for yourself. And I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm okay. Just, it's not something to be like, you're so arrogant about, but sometimes some of this shit just doesn't really apply. So yeah. So for the month of January, I've decided I'm not going to do this page again because I just didn't find it helpful. The month overview kind of just, I want to just put stuff where I want to make sure that I have the dates where I want to have stuff done, but I really don't see something useful about it because it's like double planning in my opinion, especially when you have multiple planners like I do. So if you're a multiple planner, this is just another planner on top of a planner. And sometimes it gets just too much, too double repetitive. But from the tending list, I've kind of found my way on it, and I'm hoping I do better in January. And then like after January is done, I believe I'm allowed to do a quarterly update. And if you guys are interested in that, I will do it. But so far, like you see, you have to refresh your goals. But that's how the PowerSheets have been working on me. I will say I have not been the best at keeping up with them. I forget about them, and then I get kind of like, oh, I've kind of like left my boat and got to come back to it and get motivation. But it has motivated me every time I've, gone back and looked at this and looked at my my prep work. It reminds me of why I do the stuff that I do. So if you want something that's motivating, the PowerSheets are for you, especially if you feel like there's no structure or you feel like you're being burnt out, whether it's in your personal life or just like how mine was in my creativity world. I think these are a great outcome. But like I said, this might be completely different from the 2021 PowerSheets, but I do suggest the undated version, because then you don't have to be stuck with a full year's worth of it if you find like, some of these pages are not very useful, like I have found in, carrying out this planner for 2 months now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed how I use my PowerSheets or how I reviewed them. I know it's a long video, so I'm sorry, but PowerSheets are kind of personal and sometimes it's hard to share them, but I feel like if it helps someone, might as well put it out there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.